thought this might be the best way to start my new YouTube channel, Perkins Pipes. I am at one of my favorite places on earth, Clifty Falls State Park, which is in Madison, Indiana. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that here in just a moment. What I'm going to smoke here is one of my Christmas pipes that I made. Seen a video about that earlier. You said, well, how could you have seen a video earlier if you're starting a pipe channel? Well, we'll talk more about that here in just a moment. But yeah, we'll smoke this guy, the green fellow with the red marbled stem. And what I decided to do, since everybody seems to enjoy making videos, and I enjoy making videos, and one of the things I've noticed about the pipe community is we also seem to enjoy talking a lot. Not that everybody doesn't enjoy talking a lot, but we've enjoyed talking a lot about some of the finer things. In fact, if you're a part of Pipe Cottage Social, Alan Harrelson's wonderful social media app, I strongly suggest that you check that out, download that. Pipe Cottage Social, it's called. And one of the things about that is that it has lots of different groups in it. So there's groups for art, and there's groups for books, and there are groups for faith, and groups for guys that are into guns, people that are into guns. There's a 2A, a Second Amendment group on there, and just all sorts of things. There's a group for new pipers. There's a group called Ask a Codger, which I think is great. It's ask some of the old timers questions. If you maybe don't have an old timer in your family who has smoked a pipe before and needs some guidance and are curious about just how to do it. So anyhow, like I say, I like to make videos, and I thought, well, why not? Everybody else is doing it, why not? So first off, let me fire this up, and pretty much always, most of the time at least, I'm going to be smoking Prince Albert. Yes, it's a codger blend, and yes, I enjoy it. And so one of the great things about the pipe smokers is, hey, smoke what you enjoy, right? So there we go. So what's this deal about starting a pipe channel and already mentioning having had some pipe videos posted? And also, what's the deal with Clifty Falls State Park? So when I started getting into this, and really I've only been getting into the pipe hobby for about 6 months now. This is December of 2023. So I'm relatively new to the pipe hobby. And we'll talk more about that in another video as well. But right away, I shot some videos, some of my pipes. Some of the pipes that the first 2 pipes that I had, which had belonged to my dad, that I found when cleaning out my parents' house. And then some pipes that I have made based on some Mr. Broggs blanks that I ordered from Amazon. And then some other pipes that I've purchased. So I've made videos of those. And my son, who is an industrial design major at Purdue University, He designed the logo for me. Tastes very nice. And got a little free music off the internet, free music archive. That's always linked in the credits. So I made a few of those videos. And then I got to thinking about it. I thought, you know, as much as I like to write, I like to blog, but anyhow, I thought, you know what? I like to do all this kind of stuff anyhow. Might as well throw my hat into the YouTube pipe community, YTPC. So I thought I'd kick it off here at Clifty Falls State Park. Now, Clifty Falls has been around since 1920. Our first state parks were just a few years before that. Our state became a state in 1816, and our first state parks about 100 years after that. Turkey Run State Park and McCormick's Creek. Then in 1920, we got Clifty Falls State Park. It's on the Ohio River. In fact, I'm going to show you some video of that here in just a moment. It's a gorgeously foggy day out on the river, out on the Ohio River, because Madison, Indiana is located in southeastern Indiana, right on the Ohio River. Just a gorgeous area. Cute little town of Madison. Right below us here, we're a little bit elevated from the town itself. Again, when I turn the camera around in a moment, you won't be able to see the town as you usually can. In fact, you won't be able to see the river either. It appears that we're sitting in the clouds right now because the fog is so thick. Now this is pushing 9 o'clock in the morning. Ordinarily, you can see the river beautifully, and right now we're looking down into the town of Madison, Indiana, which you absolutely cannot see because of the thick cloud cover, but this is just absolutely gorgeous and is one of the reasons that we love this very special place. But ever since our children were little, we started coming here after Christmas, spent a few days. It used to be that the state parks of Indiana had a 2-for-1 deal, right? 2 nights for the price of 1. And so we took advantage of that, loved it, started doing it, and it became a tradition in our family. Then several years ago, our children were still young, and my wife and I decided, we thought, hey, maybe we'll take a trip for Christmas, right? Instead of the usual gifts, maybe we'll go to Disney World. And so during the fall of that year, we broached that topic with the children. And we said, what would you think about no gifts this year and going to Disney World? And I kid you not, their first response, both of our children, their first response was, well, we'll still go to Clifty, won't we? And my wife and I looked at them and said, well, no, we would be in Florida. We would be at Disney World. And they both said no. They both said that they would rather come to Clifty Falls State Park than go to Disney World for Christmas. And one of the things we like to hike. We love to hike. In fact, just this year for my birthday, my wife gave me some new hiking shoes. We love that. We love just to sit in the great room here at the inn. It's got a fireplace. We love to work jigsaw puzzles. We love to play games. There's a indoor pool. Sometimes we like to go into the town of Madison. But for the most part, we just really love each other's company. So anyhow, among the things I'll be talking about on this channel, obviously pipes, but not exclusively. Although whatever topics I do talk about, I'll talk about with a pipe in hand. So we'll be talking about things like hiking, the state parks or national parks. We'll talk about things like that. I'm a fountain pen collector. We may have an episode, we'll talk about fountain pens. I've taught Latin at the high school level and university levels for over 30 years. I guarantee you we'll talk about literature. We'll talk about poetry. We'll talk about philosophy, theology. These are all topics of interest of mine, and as I've come to find out, it seems like topics of of interest to a lot of pipers as well. Love Mustangs, the car. Love all kinds of music. I know everybody says that, but I've got a friend who has joked with me and says, "You have got a wider musical bandwidth than anybody I know." And that musical bandwidth takes in everything from good old American blues to country to 80s hair metal, classic rock, the hauntingly beautiful, moody, and poetic music of people like Simon and Garfunkel. It really goes across the board. Classical, jazz, it just goes on. So we'll talk about music from time to time. I don't think I'd be a good American if I weren't a huge movie fan. So we'll talk about movies as well, perhaps television shows, but fundamentally all what we call the finer things of life, things that we enjoy. And we'll close it out with a quotation from just the inimitable and wonderful Malcolm Guite. If you don't know Malcolm, you need to check him out on YouTube. Guite is his name, Malcolm Guite. And he has a line, he says, "I do these small things so that at last I may do nothing." And I translate that into Latin, Parva ago, ut tandem nihil agam. So it's the finer things in life, the little things that allow us then to ultimately do nothing and just reflect. Have a wonderful day.